Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everyone. This is Marty McDermott, the president of Franchise Interviews, and I can't start today's show without speaking about NeoPost and their IS-280 postage meter. So think about all the time small businesses spend to process and send mail and packages. You know, if we spend just 15 minutes a day doing it, that's more than 7 full days a year focused on mailing and shipping, and that's just crazy. I recently spoke to NeoPost, and they told me that one of the smartest things to start doing today to save time and money is to use the IS-280 postage meter to handle all our mail processing without ever leaving my office. So here's how it works. The IS-280 weighs and then automatically tells me what postage amount my mail or package needs. Not only do I pay 6% less to send first-class mail, but time's also saved by not having to run to the post office in Easton for postage. The IS-280 allows you to spend more time managing business and less time managing mail. Now here's the great part. For a limited time, our listeners can get 6 months free by using the promo code FRANCHISE. All you have to do is visit neopost280.com/franchise and enter your zip code to see if you qualify, followed by the promo code FRANCHISE to lock in 6 months free. That's neopost280.com/franchise.
Welcome to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews has been giving an up-close, behind-the-scenes look at franchising and entrepreneurship. Listen to interviews with franchisers, franchisees, franchise authors, franchise experts, and attorneys. And now, welcome your host, Marty McDermott, and Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 11 years now, we've been asking the entrepreneurs one-on-one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott, and I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and we have a great show today. We're meeting with Alejandra Font and Sam Bakhtiar of the Camp Transformation Center. And the Camp Transformation Center is dedicated to helping clients reach their weight loss goals by offering a comprehensive program, a fun, friendly, and welcoming, motivating environment. We're going to talk to Alejandra and Sam about that in just a moment on Franchise Interviews. So stick around because we have a great show.
The Stone Coat Franchise Opportunity. Are you looking for a unique and lucrative franchise opportunity? If so, take a look at Stone Coat. With a patented process which creates a true stone finish on almost any wall or ceiling, Stone Coat is a true game-changing product in the multi-billion-dollar construction industry. Stone Coat is applied faster, cleaner, and cheaper than conventional quarried stone, which saves both time and money. With advantages in remodel and new construction of both residential and commercial projects, Stone Coat is a true crossover product. The Stone Coat franchise opportunity provides a low startup cost, low operating expenses, comprehensive training, ongoing support, and no royalty payments. For more information on the Stone Coat franchise opportunity, go to www.stonecoatfranchise.com. That's www.stonecoatfranchise.com, or call us at 972-380-2700. That's 972-380-2700.
Franchise Teacher.
Would you like to know how to franchise your concept or grow your franchise business?
Meet the experts at Franchise Teacher.
The goal of Franchise Teacher is to teach, coach, consult, and advise. The team of experts at Franchise Teacher will evaluate your business model and present you with a winning business strategy.
Franchise Teacher will help you decide whether or not your concept works and if it's franchisable. Franchise Teacher is proud to have over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors.
Franchise Teacher are developers of over a dozen franchise systems, which include brick and mortar as well as home-based concepts of nearly 3,000 combined franchise locations.
Whether you need to add more units or get more customers, Franchise Teacher can help. We will teach.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn our proven system.
Coach.
Franchise Teacher will help you provide a game plan to succeed.
Consult.
Franchise Teacher will make sure you stay on track.
And advise.
Franchise Teacher will help you learn from our over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors. Take advantage of our free, no-obligation phone consultation. Simply go to franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
That's franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032.
Hi, this is Connie McDermott, Administrative Assistant for Franchise Interviews, LLC, and you're listening to Franchise Interviews.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to a very special edition of Franchise Interviews, where for over 11 years now, we've been asking the entrepreneurs who own one. I'm your host, Marty McDermott. I'm the president of Franchise Interviews, and as we were saying earlier, we have a great show today. We're meeting with Alejandra Font and Sam Bakhtiar of the Camp Transformation Center. And the Camp Transformation Center is dedicated to helping clients reach their weight loss goals by offering comprehensive programs in a fun, friendly, welcoming, motivating environment. Hi, Alejandra. Hi, Sam. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? It's actually just going to be Alejandra today, just me.
Oh, that's okay,
Sam's
Alejandra.
actually...
Welcome.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great
Sam
to
is
have
on a
you.
webinar
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, that's okay. That's quite okay. You know what? We always like to ask our guests, where are you calling from this afternoon, Alejandra?
I am calling from our corporate office in Chino Hills, California.
Oh, fantastic. How's the weather there today?
It's beautiful. It's going to be 90 degrees for Thanksgiving.
Is it really? Oh, lucky you. I'm in Easton, Pennsylvania, Alejandra, and it's cold here today, but I guess it's typical for Thanksgiving. So it must be nice to be in California. Yeah, this time of year, which is fantastic. Maybe we could go back to the beginning, and talk about, how this whole thing came about, because, when I was studying the model, Alejandra, I said, wow, you really know how to, I think, make weight loss fun, and that's what intrigued me about your model. So maybe we can go back to the beginning, and how did this whole thing even come about?
Well, Sam had been in the fitness industry for many years, really all his life. Since he was like 16 years old, he started, lifting weights and seeing a change, a transformation in his own body. And I didn't come into fitness until later in my life, after I had my two kids. I was like 37 at the time, and I really was ready for a transformation, a physical transformation in my life as well. And I became a personal trainer. I mentored under Sam. He had a small, like a boutique personal training gym in the area. And after literally like 4 months of personal training, I absolutely fell in love with this concept of helping people, through fitness, really change, not only physically, but, really mentally and the whole state totally changed. But, personal training, you're so limited. You're just dealing with one client at a time. So I just proposed the idea to him if he would be interested in going into business with me. I was interested in opening a boot camp. And, he agreed, and that's really how it took off. We started in 2010. That was 7 years ago, and, with just one location, and now we're at 96 locations.
It's incredible. It really is. It's an incredible story. How do you describe the Camp Transformation Center to, I guess, someone who's interested in possibly buying the franchise, Alejandra? Like if you were at a franchise show and someone came up to your booth and they said, "So what do you guys do?" How do you typically describe the concept? Because it is different than a lot of things that are out there.
It is. It is definitely different. First of all, for a prospective franchisee, of course they're interested in, the ROI and all that stuff.
Right.
First of all, what's most important to us, we've always been driven by initially, the cause, just transforming people's lives, helping people. Now through our franchise, we're able to, actually help people financially through their fitness business. They're able to completely change. Actually, 100% of our franchisees were prior clients, which had, a lot of them didn't have business background, nor did a lot of them have fitness background. So it's an opportunity that you could really attach meaning and purpose to it. So it's not like some other concepts out there that, it's there isn't that much, that drives, maybe a whatever hamburger, whatever stand, but because of what we do, we really are changing people's lives. We're really blessed in that sense. So, so there is just a lot of purpose and meaning. And what's nice is that our staff also feels the same. So we're able to keep staff for a longer period of time because of the fact that there is much more attached to it than just, a little after-school job or, in between college classes job.
It sounds like and when I was studying the model, Alejandra, it sounds like, it really is a culture, at the CAM Transformation Center. And I imagine that, that's probably, again, what you're looking for in your franchisees. Yes, it's true. I have the feeling the ROI is pretty significant in this type of business model, but nevertheless, it seems like you're looking for more than that in your franchisees, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We really look for a person that is, has kind of like a predisposition to serve, to help people.
Right.
That is an ideal franchisee. It doesn't mean that, we definitely have people that have stepped away from the business and are involved in other things and have operators that take care of the day-to-day, and that's totally fine. But as long as the person there on the ground is really in tune with the culture and the whole purpose behind the camp, that's what matters. Right. Because in the end, that's going to make very happy staff and very happy clients. And that's what you want, to be profitable.
Exactly. That's terrific. How has technology play a role in the business today, Alejandra? Again, you are dealing with, of course, people, but, I imagine that, technology is used to some extent. So how is technology being used at the Camp Transformation Center?
Sure. Well, initially when we started, we would it was all, as far as getting clients, it was all just flyers and, postcards that we would print out and put different ads in magazines. Now all of our promotions have gone digital. We're on social media, extensively on Facebook. We have a very big following on Facebook. So as far as that goes, that's how we market ourselves, through Facebook and Instagram, Yelp. Within our centers, we've actually just launched an app that we're using so that the client can actually keep track of their weight loss and their successes and where they need to work a little bit harder. So that has played a role as far as our clients go. And then also we are very focused on just old-fashioned, eat right, move more, and that's how you will ultimately lose weight. I think what sets us apart is the accountability. We're not really planning on incorporating any type of technology within the workout per se, if that makes sense.
Right.
There are some concepts that do, but that's not our intention, because we know that people just want, they want a transformation, and it's going to be through working out and eating right, and of course the accountability. That's huge.
The industry, it's safe to say, the industry that you're in, Alejandra, in doing the show such a long time now, it's safe to say, you're in a pretty big industry. I don't know what the numbers are up to today, but what fascinates me is even just the growth in your industry. It just seems like it keeps getting bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's great. There's more awareness about, weight loss and staying healthy. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And
terrific.
When we see that there are more competitors out there, that's just a sign that, there is a need in the market for our type of service. That doesn't scare us. It just makes us, it just confirms the fact that people are more aware of that. So we need to over-deliver. All of these other concepts just make us better.
Yeah, competition does that, doesn't it, Alejandra? It certainly, makes you work harder, I think that's fantastic, and it always is a good sign. What's been one of the most interesting things that's happened to you since starting this whole concept, Alejandra? I'm sure you probably have hundreds of stories you could tell me, but does anything stand out over the course of time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably one of the most, shocking things was in about 2013, I guess it was like 2014, we had a client approach us. At that time, we had about 5 locations, and it was just, company-owned locations. We had a client approach us saying that they want to buy a franchise. And at that time, we had never even considered franchising. We're
Right.
like, what do you mean you want to buy a franchise? Just come work out. So, and
Right.
franchising just came to us very organically.
Sure.
That was never the intention initially, nor was it even the intention, with 4 or 5 locations. We just figured we'd open, a few more in Southern California.
Right.
We didn't, unfortunately, I guess, we didn't have the, the vision, quite as big of a vision.
Right.
But we took this client's advice and we started, we looked into franchising, and here we are now.
It's great. So it's like the vision found you, and it's funny because I can't tell you how often we have heard that story on the show, Alejandra. Is that that's when a lot of great franchises knew that's when there was time to start franchising. When someone came up to them and said, "I wish I could own one of these. How do I own one?" And so it's just it's a wonderful story. As you tell me that. Maybe you talk a little bit about the training. What is the training like then for your new franchisees, Alejandra? Do they come out to California then? Is that where it begins?
Yes. Right now it's in California. It's 1 week long, full 7 days of training, classroom, and also inside the gym, inside the actual facility. And it's a long week of training because it's all day in the classroom and then a few hours in the evening at the gym. But we really need for people to see the interaction at the gym, what goes on the gym floor, as well as in the office, because all of it is very important. We focus on the experience of the client, and just in the classroom, they're not really going to understand it until they actually experience it. And we also require them to take classes, at least 3 classes throughout their time with us. So that's initially, and then we have weekly webinars, and that's actually one of the webinars that Sam is on right now. We do weekly webinars of, ongoing training, and then we have visits, of course, that we do with our franchisees, and then also a monthly call with their prospective business consultant. So we have a couple of business consultants here in the office, and each one of them are assigned to different regions, and they're in constant communication with that franchisee to, just to help them through this process, because for a lot of people it's a brand new experience. So we really want to ensure their success.
That's great. Because you've been doing this, I could ask you, what is a typical day like for a Camp Transformation Center franchisee, Alejandra?
If they're operating the location themselves, it's great. It's very rewarding because you're in constant communication, in constant contact with the clients, and it's so rewarding. All you do is, you get high fives and hugs, and, because people are seeing so much change in their life. Of course, there are, you're having to do your payroll, and, you're having to check the inventory and make sure that the monthly and the sign-up agreements are being processed correctly. Of course, there's that paperwork that you have to take care of and, take care of business, basically.
Sure, of course.
But, if you're working there at the gym, it's very fun. I did it in the beginning. I ran a couple of our locations before we really started growing, and it was extremely, extremely rewarding.
It's a feel-good business, isn't it? Like, you kind of compared it to, hamburgers versus, what you're doing here. It's every day you kind of go home and you feel like, you've made a difference, and totally. I think it's wonderful to find that opportunity where, you can not only make money, but, it's probably even more gratifying, I guess, safe to say, than, to see the transformation, as you say in your name, with your clients. It must be an incredible feeling. I imagine that must be wonderful. In studying your background, Alejandra, it was interesting. You seem to me as like you have these characteristics of an entrepreneur. You knew, to approach Sam, and you said, I see this opportunity. What advice would you give to our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise? Because in doing this show such a long time now, we find that a lot of our listeners, they don't even know where to begin because there is so much out there, in the world of franchising. So from everything and everything you've learned up to this point, what would you say to our listeners?
I would suggest to first start with something, an industry that really speaks to you. What do you love?
Yeah.
What's your passion? When you combine that with, helping people, whether, even if it's food and you love food and you love cooking, whatever, and then you're going to help bring that idea to the marketplace, that is going to, equal your purpose. So, so I really feel like you need to really figure out what it is that you love. What are you passionate about? It sounds
It
so
is.
cliche, but my God, it's so true.
It is. I say that all the time. It's so cliche, but it is so true. I was doing an interview a couple of years ago, and I said the same exact thing. Is you really have to find something that you enjoy doing. I think that makes all the difference in the world. So I think that's great advice. So the company's had all this success, Alejandra. So where do you and Sam see the company? Maybe if you could look into a crystal ball 3 to 5 years down the road, where do you see the organization?
Our goal is to grow to 300 locations over the next 3 years, and we are very good at hitting our goals. We make aggressive goals, but we do what it takes to get there. So
right.
I foresee that happening for sure. When you put it in your mind, it's just a
Sure.
matter of going through the motions and getting it done.
Right.
So yeah,
absolutely.
that's our goal. 300
That's
locations
terrific.
over the next 3 years.
That's great. What's the best way for our listeners to get more information on the CAM Transformation Center, Alejandra, as a franchise opportunity, of course, and even the service itself? Are there any websites that you can direct them to?
Yeah, absolutely. So for franchise information, it's the Camp, TC, T as in Tom, C as in Charlie, franchise.com.
Okay.
And for membership, for your own personal transformation, it's just
right.
the Camp, TC, T as in Tom, C as in Charlie.com.
That's fantastic, and I've really enjoyed having you on the show, Alejandra. I've been following the franchise for some time now, and so to finally get the chance to speak to you has been a pleasure, and I'd really like to invite you back next year as you continue to grow, because I think this is wonderful opportunity. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving as well.
Thank you,
Alejandra.
likewise. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It was a pleasure.
This has been my pleasure, Alejandra. We'll be right back with more franchise interviews. Coming up on segment 2, you're going to hear what every franchipreneur needs to know before buying a franchise. We're going to play a clip from our popular Great Quotes in Franchising podcast right here on Franchise Interviews.
Are you looking for a franchise that delivers? Businesses will always need shipping, and for more than 25 years, loyal customers have depended on Unishippers for reliable savings and exceptional customer service. Unishippers is focused on just one thing: helping small and medium-sized businesses save time and money on all their shipping needs. And as the largest reseller of complete shipping services in the country, we have the buying power to ensure that we succeed. The Unishippers franchise offers low startup costs, no equipment or real estate required because they're not retail, residual income, and a quality of life and work-life balance. For more information on becoming a Unishippers franchisee, go to www.unishippers.com and click Franchise Opportunities, or call Franchise Development at 801-708-5822. That's 801-708-5822.
Today's Great Quote in Franchising is being brought to you by
Franchise Teacher. Would you like to know how to franchise your concept or grow your franchise business? Meet the experts at Franchise Teacher. The goal of Franchise Teacher is to teach, coach, consult, and advise. The team of experts at Franchise Teacher will evaluate your business model and present you with a winning business strategy. Franchise Teacher will help you decide whether or not your concept works and if it's franchisable. Franchise Teacher is proud to have over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors. Franchise Teacher are developers of over a dozen franchise systems, which include brick and mortar as well as home-based concepts of nearly 3,000 combined franchise locations. Whether you need to add more units or get more customers, Franchise Teacher can help. We will teach. Franchise Teacher will help you learn our proven system. Coach. Franchise Teacher will help you provide a game plan to succeed. Consult. Franchise Teacher will make sure you stay on track. And advise. Franchise Teacher will help you learn from our over 30 years of experience in franchising as both franchisees and franchisors. Take advantage of our free, no-obligation phone consultation. Simply go to franchiseteacher.com or call us at 561-385-3032. That's franchiseteacher.com, or call us at 561-385-3032.
Hi, everyone. This is Marty McDermott, the president of Franchise Interviews, and welcome to another edition of Great Quotes in Franchising, where each podcast you get to hear a great quote in franchising. You know, we've been hosting Franchise Interviews many years now, and during that time, we've had some incredible quotes on our show. Today's Great Quote in Franchising podcast comes from Mary Jane Riva, the CEO of Pizza Factory. And Mary Jane gave some great advice. You know, one of the questions we frequently ask on the show when we have someone like Mary Jane is, what advice would you give to our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise? And she said that you should look under the hood. And, you know, I thought her advice was very original, but you have to listen to the podcast to find out why. So here we go with Mary Jane Riva, CEO of Pizza Factory. Franchise. You know, we've been doing the show such a long time now, and one of the biggest things we've learned is that, you know, a lot of our listeners in their quest to buy a franchise, they don't know where to begin because, like you were saying earlier, there's so much out there today. You know, I mean, there's just so much to choose from. Most of them don't even know where to begin. It just becomes overwhelming.
Yep.
You know, from everything you've learned, you know, up to this point, what advice would you give to our listeners?
Well, there's a couple things, and one that as we're going through this journey ourselves from being a franchisee to the franchisor, it's understanding the roles of the franchisor versus the franchisee. That's a really big important, really what is the role that you're playing versus the franchisor. And then when you're looking at brands, the other thing for brands to me is really looking under the hood. Don't just look at all the stuff on the surface. Really dig down. See what extra charges there. You know, are they marking up stuff? You know, really evaluate a brand to a brand and not just the fluff kind of stuff that you see on the top. And it's a lot of due diligence.
Right.
But, you know, ask the questions that are going to be once you're in there. You know, are they marking up the food product? Are they marking up advertising materials? You know, what are you paying? So really dig down and ask a lot more questions. And I would talk to a lot of franchisees that are in the system and see how they feel about the franchisor and the brand itself. I would do a lot of due diligence with franchisees because they're the ones that are going to tell you.
Right, absolutely. I love how you said look under the hood. You know, as I've mentioned, doing the show such a long time, I've never heard that analogy before. I think that's very clever, to look under the hood, you know, to go deep, you know, inside and look what's under, not just what's on top. You know, we have this great quote in franchising. I'm going to put that one in there because I think that's fantastic. You know, it makes a lot of sense. And, you know, Pizza Factory, I mean, you have a lot of franchisees that you can call, right? I mean, I think you're up to, is it over 100 franchisees now, Mary Jane? So there's plenty of people,
We've got
you know,
some
that
have,
oh, good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say we
okay.
have them. They've been in the system for 30 years. We have franchisees, you know, that have been in that long, and we have them that are just getting on. So there's a wide range. So, and you want to hit all those. You know, you want to hit the newbies. You want to hit the older ones. You want to get their feel of what's been going on and how they've been treated. And but yeah, there's a lot of people to call. There's a lot of people to ask. There's a lot of different town sizes. So when you're doing your due diligence, you know, really get out there and dig deep.
If you'd like to hear that whole interview with Pizza Factory, all you have to do is go to franchiseinterviews.com, go to our Franchise Interviews by Category page, and click on Food Franchises, and you can hear the whole interview there. And lastly, we'd just like to thank everyone for making this podcast such a huge success. You know, it's hard to imagine when we started the show that our Great Quotes in Franchising podcast was going to become just as big as our regular show. So we want to thank everyone again and continue to listen to our Great Quotes in Franchising podcast, sponsored by Franchise Interviews. Take care, everyone.
Franchise Interviews. From Easton, Pennsylvania to Sydney, Australia, you're listening to Franchise Interviews. Franchise Interviews.